Welcome back to CFB Nation. I'm your host, Dino Brown, and of course, I got my guy, Governor of College Football, KT, Leverett KT, as that is, filling in for my guy, Dino. How are we doing tonight?
Hey, I'm feeling fantastic. College football showdown earlier. We got Devy Darlings now. CFB Prime coming up next. I like when my days are busy. My guy, my guy Brad hit me up, said he needs some more stuff for the Instagram, so I'll work on that between tonight and tomorrow. So
There we go. Just stay
yeah,
cooking. That's how it's got to be. Got to keep it moving. You know what I
yes,
mean?
sir. Gotcha.
Shout out to Brett. He cooking on the
Yeah,
IG.
yeah, we just passed 10K, man.
Just hitting Barry 16K on the YouTube. We're just doing our thing. You know what I mean? Getting them followers, getting them supporters, and we appreciate you all. But on this episode of Devy Darlings, we'll be talking about a guy, Miami freshman Carr. But we're gonna go back to the beginning, a little bit of some of the things talk about his attributes and what he did over at I believe I got this right, Colquitt County High School. But 5'11", 170 pounds. He's the 15th ranked receiver in the 2024 class, top 70 overall. Like I said, got a Colquitt County High School, and that's Moultrie, Georgia. He's a multi-sport athlete. Obviously football, basketball, and track. He had a 5'10" high jump.
That's impressive.
Dude, yeah, exactly. Dude's athletic. And I feel like he's kind of being like the forgotten guy over in Miami this year because obviously Josiah Trader, and we'll get into that wide receiver room. But the buzz was like Trader came out in spring, just like Jeremiah Smith did for Ohio State, and everybody's like, "Whoa, this is going to be the kid, the freshman guy that's going to shine in this room." And Nightcott was I think he was a later enrollee, so he didn't really get that jump like Trader did, but he was in the spring game. I think this kid's going to be a problem. Talk to us a little bit about his time at Colquitt County.
Yeah, Colquitt County High School, sophomore year, 40 catches, 856 yards, 13 touchdowns. Junior season, 62 catches, 1,051 yards, 10 tutties. And the senior year, he had 64 catches for 1,261 yards, 21 touchdowns. He actually broke the Colquitt County, the county, not just the school, the county's touchdown record that year as well for wide receivers. So he's incredible, man.
I think he had like 18 touchdowns in 10 games, like the first 10 games to start the season. He was on a run. I mean, this kid is just absolutely unique. And, if you watch any of his film, any of the huddle film that I was able to peep, I mean, this kid, like, you give him an inch and he can take off. It's going to take more than one guy to kind of contain him. And he can literally just destroy your defense in one play. He definitely can make a house call. So there was a lot of things that I really liked about him when I saw. Like I said, the speed was the first thing that just kind of jumps off the page. I mean, whether he's in motion, whether he lines up in the backfield, or whatever it may be, this guy, if you give him enough space, boom, gone. And he can just separate. One cut and go, like I said, the type speed where he plants. If you ain't right there, God bless. As many acrobatic and difficult catches as this gentleman made, I didn't really see many misses. I mean, granted there were some, but he has elite hands for a smaller guy, and he's out there right in the middle of the field just cooking. So, he's a twitchier receiver. He's got good bursts, gets in and out of his cuts quickly. Again, natural playmaker. It don't matter where he lines up on the offense. This guy just looks for the ball, and when he gets the ball in his hands, he can make things happen. He makes a lot of these, difficult catches look easy. The opener, I mean, that was one of those, catches where you just kind of like, did he catch that? How did he catch that? Like OBJ type, T-Mac type catches that you see, and you're just like, wow, and nobody's really talking about the kid. He's a magician in the open field. Like I said, he could make you miss in a phone booth, and when he makes you miss, it's like ESPN highlight stuff. He doesn't, his route tree is 1 through 9, but he didn't really have to at the high school level because he was kind of burning kids right off the jump. So he didn't have to worry about running the full route tree. He does have good field awareness. He always is aware where the boundary is, gets 2 feet in. I know he's only going to need 1 right now, but I love the footwork he's got. What are some of the things that you like, that I spoke about?
I've seen a lot of the same things. The speed is what jumped off the board. His ability to create separation jumped off the board. And a lot of times at this level, what you see in kids, when they fast, they only know one way. I've seen him playing gears, which is kind of impressive for somebody, this young. And I think the sky could be the limit, but you're right. There's not enough people talking about him, man.
Nah, it seems as though it's more, Trader. And there's Right. They went out and got some guys, and they're returning some guys. So like I said, we'll get into it. I mean, this kid was touted, heavily touted, 27 offers. Miami, Georgia, Florida, Michigan, USC, Nebraska, the big dogs, plus more. Man, somehow Cristobal was able to, back in his Oregon days and find a way to get these two studs. And I think Nycons is really getting slept on. Now, talk to me about this room. I know the room is I would say jam packed in it. To me, Xavier Restrepo is the guy.
He's the guy 100%.
But there's a lot of talent. But I think there's going to be they're going to have to, if they're going to be as good as I believe that the Hurricanes are going to be this year. And like I said earlier, in college football show, I think they challenged Clemson for the ACC title. They're going to need a lot of guys to contribute, not just the big name guys. So talk to me about this room.
Wide receiver room, of course, like you said, they got Xavier Restrepo, 85 catches, 1,092 yards last year, 6 touchdowns, 355 yards. Yak, 92% in the slot, so he should be the number one guy. Jacoby George, 57 catches, 867 yards, 8 touchdowns, 540 yak yards. He was 93% wide. Joshua Schrader, 5-star freshman, TD in the spring game, got a connection with Cam Ward. Samuel Brown, Houston transfer, 62 catches, 815 yards. 3 TDs, 400 yards after contact. Yards after catching. And Ray Joseph, 6 catches, 36 yards. Played a lot of special teams, so it's a decent room. But like you said earlier, Xavier Restrepo should be the guy.
Yeah, I expect Restrepo to be the main guy. Obviously, George will be the outside threat, strengthens his room. I just like that Carr can be the inside-outside guy. He can play that deep threat guy. He can also work the middle in the short and intermediate game. I know that Miami brings back the tight end that's probably played for 8 or 9 years this year. I'm not really familiar with the tight end room.
Right.
So, to me, they got bangers at the running back. Right?
I think he's been in college since 2016. That's crazy.
Yeah, that's year 9 or something.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, it's like their backfield is bangers. Fletcher and Damian Martinez, they're not really that they can receive, but they're not really that, typical receiving back. This kid, I know Restrepo works the slot. He could be a nice piece if they ever go, in the 4 wide receiver slot set. You got Carr in the inside, you got Restrepo in the inside, and you have Trader and George on the outs. That's a dangerous little combo. There's some speed. You got some, and he doesn't have necessarily just work the short and intermediate game because he has great hands and he can burn you. So he can be that deep threat. God, he could just be a decoy this year and just stretch field and give people space because of the speed that he does have. But for some reason, I don't think he's going to be that decoy because when I look at him, we're going to get into the player comp side of it. I know it's big names, and the talent, obviously, as a recent guy, the talent level, is kind of like the ceiling, and that's what I expect from this gentleman. I really, really do. He's not like the technician, you know what I mean? But he's just that speedster. He can burn you, like we said. He's twitchy. Deshaun Jackson, right, out of Cal. I mean, even no NFL stuff, but just he made some stupid plays at Cal.
He did
this return game, deep ball bombs where he just made one move, got by you, and they just aired it out to him, and he was able to make spectacular plays. Xavier Worthy, a lot of people want to say, oh, he's a speedster guy. He got drafted in the NFL because of his 4.3 speed. If you went back, a lot of these guys this year started to come around and say, yeah, he's not just a speed guy. He's a speed guy with hands.
Right.
And Nycon seems to be that type of receiver. A speedy guy. It doesn't have to be super duper Tasmanian twitch. He had enough twitch to get by him. But the speed is a factor. He catches everything. We've seen one-handed catches. We see these acrobatic, huge catch radiuses for a guy that's less than 6 foot tall. So those are my 2 comps. I think anywhere in that realm, definitely Devy Darlings caliber NFL talent right there. So what are your thoughts on the comps?
I love the comps, and I think immediately the first thing everybody want to say is, oh my goodness, those are lofty comps. If you just look at the tape, I think these comps are accurate, and a guy that I would like to add is USC wide receiver Zachariah Branch. I think he's right in that mode as well. So it's interesting to see how he'll be utilized this season. I'm sure, his production will definitely skyrocket next season. But hopefully he gets some plays. And if he gets the ball in his hand, he'll make some plays and he'll earn playing time. Have you heard much coming out of fall camp?
See, the thing is I had higher hopes for him coming out of this part of the year. had they not got Samuel Brown. Like Samuel
Right.
Brown was a late transfer portal addition for them. You know what I mean? Like before that, I'm like, okay, Carr's got, you maybe carve out a small role this year and then, get on that special teams and get some wild time. You know how it is. You get on special teams, you start ripping off chunk plays, 20, 35-yard returns. All of a sudden, well, now we got to get this guy the ball because in space, he's something. I just don't know. Like I said, Brown's an older guy. You know what I mean? I think he's a junior. George is an older. So they have an older room. Granted, next year.
Right. It should only benefit him, like you said, if he's able to.
If he can force his way on the field this year, that will speak volumes. I think the talent is there. I do think the room is kind of crowded, and I do believe they're going to run the ball a lot with those two guys in Fletcher and Damian Martinez. But like I said, I think that there is going to be some manufactured plays for this gentleman. Maybe not in the beginning of the year, but down the stretch. And if he's able to crack this lineup through that special teams role, watch out, because what I seen on tape and what I seen from those two guys and Worthy, it took Worthy a year or two to really kind of to pop. You know what I mean? The talent was there. And look at him. He ended up being a first-round draft pick in the end of it. So I think this kid has the talent to do it. So
the Red River rivalry touchdown was a game for a lot of people where he jumped off the screen, like, open the play.
And that first year where he kind of popped, his big MO was he drops the ball a lot. Right. But he was able to fix that. Even with, you want to put on that Quinn Ewers doesn't really throw the deep ball well. He still looked good last year. He still was able to get himself in the first round. So this is a type of player. Carr just screams Xavier Worthy. If you could, in a lab, make a prototypical type of receiver that you like this style, and you mesh Deshaun Jackson, Xavier Worthy came out with Carr, you'd be a happy guy. So that's what my flag plant's going to be. I feel like he's going to be somewhere in that realm. Whether or not he stays in Miami,
that's the key. Because the portal is a thing.
The portal is a thing. NIL is real, and there are a lot of teams that recruited him, and he did. I believe he committed somewhere else and flipped. I want to say there was another school in here that he had committed to prior or was like verbal commit, and then ended up in Miami. So once I see stuff like that, I get a little worried. Maybe he won't make it the whole time there. If Miami doesn't do as well as I think they do, Mario Cristobal could be out, and that could mean Carr could be out as well. So, but if all things stay the same and Miami does well, especially if they do well, he will, like I said, they're going to have to use more than one wide receiver. They will be spreading the ball around. Cam Ward is going to have to put a lot of things on his resume to make it to the next level. I think a weapon like Carr will help him. So that's just another reason why I believe Carr will be a Devy Darling. And we're stating that before he even really steps on to the regular season field. I'm Nino Brown. That's my guy, KT, the governor of college football. This is Devy Darlings.